All right, let's get right into today's football, because when you boil it all down, the action is all about one thing: a massive divide. Our analysis points to a day of huge contrasts, where the league's heavyweights look set for some pretty big wins against the teams really struggling down at the bottom.
So, the main story for today's games is this giant gap in quality and form. On one side, you've got the league's elite, the teams looking to really find their rhythm and show everyone who's boss. And then, on the other side, you've got clubs that are in a serious battle, facing some major challenges. And honestly, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not just about one or two individual matches. This is a trend we're seeing right across the entire day's fixtures. And understanding this gap, well, that's the key to our most confident predictions.
Okay, so let's start with the clearest examples of that quality gap. We're going to dive into the predictions that have the absolute highest confidence ratings, the ones where all the evidence is pointing overwhelmingly in one direction. So here they are, the top 3 picks for the day. You can see the confidence in away wins for Spurs and Liverpool is just sky high. City is still the favorite at home, of course, but they're dealing with some issues that we're going to get into in just a moment. But first, let's break down exactly why those top 2 predictions are looking so strong.
This right here, this just lays out the mismatch perfectly. On one side, you have Burnley, who are in a complete downward spiral. We're talking 13 games without a win. And on the other, you've got Tottenham, who are fantastic away from home. Their whole game plan, that lightning-fast counterattack, it's like it was specifically designed to tear apart a struggling defense just like Burnley's.
And that mismatch is exactly why the confidence rating for a Spurs win is a massive 94%. It is the highest of the day, and it makes sense, right? It's a classic case of one team's greatest strength going right up against the other's biggest weakness.
Now, let's shift gears to our second high-confidence pick. Look, Liverpool have had a pretty frustrating run of draws lately, but the game changer is back. The return of Mohamed Salah, well, that's a huge psychological and tactical boost for the whole team.
And this is why Liverpool are in such a great position. It's not just about their own strength. It's also about their opponent, Bournemouth, who are kind of falling apart at the seams. I mean, look at this. They are seriously depleted by injuries, and they've lost key talent. This is creating what you'd call a perfect storm for Liverpool to get their season right back on track.
So, when you combine the Salah effect with a Bournemouth side that's really in crisis mode, you get our second highest confidence rating of the day at 91%. The circumstances just could not be more in Liverpool's favor.
Okay, so we've established this theme, right? Heavyweights versus strugglers. But even the biggest, baddest giants can have vulnerabilities. And today, we're seeing that with Manchester City. They're actually facing a pretty rare and significant problem. And that's the key question we have to ask ourselves. Are these top teams completely untouchable? Well, the answer today seems to be no. And the issue lies squarely with City's defense.
And this is where you can see the cracks in City's defensive wall. We're not talking about just any squad players here. We're talking about absolute cornerstones of their defense, like Stones, Diaz, and Guardiola all being out. This leaves their backline looking incredibly shaky and a bit inexperienced heading into this game.
So what does this mean for strategy? Well, it's huge. Even though City are still the favorites to win at home, don't expect them to be their usual all-out attack selves. The analysis suggests they'll probably play it safe. If they get a lead, expect them to slow things down, focus on possession, and protect that vulnerable defense rather than pushing for a ton of goals.
But, it's not always just about who's on the team sheet or who's injured. In some of the other matchups today, there are outside factors, like the weather, that could end up playing a really decisive role.
Yeah, specifically, there's a weather warning for the games in London. The combination of cold temps and rain means a slick, unpredictable pitch. And what does a slick pitch lead to? You guessed it. More mistakes, especially from defenders. It's a defender's nightmare.
This becomes especially important for the West Ham versus Sunderland match. As you can see, West Ham's defense is already having a tough time. They've gone 19 games without a clean sheet. Now you add in these tricky weather conditions, and you've basically created the perfect recipe for goals, especially against a Sunderland team that is known for their never-say-die fighting spirit.
So, we've broken down the key matchups, the injuries, even the weather. What's the best way to look at today's action? Let's distill it all down into a clear strategic game plan.
Here it is, your strategic summary. The top pick has to be Tottenham, just capitalizing on that huge quality gap with Burnley. Next up, Liverpool looks like strong value against a seriously weakened Bournemouth. And if you're looking for a safer approach, you might consider a draw no bet on Orlando Pirates. Basically, if the game's a draw, you get your stake back. And given their incredible 10-game unbeaten streak, that feels like a really solid option.
And we'll leave you with this little thought to chew on. While City are looking vulnerable today, there's a big question hanging over their future. Could a potential new signing be the answer to this sudden defensive crisis? It's definitely something to watch, not just for today, but for the rest of their season.